Another time, Sam was a gerontologist, a physician who treats old farts like me. In comes Wendell. Wendell is 92 years, but spry. And Wendell comes in and says, Sam, I'm getting married. She's a tall, willowy blonde. She's 25 years old, and I'm getting married. And we're moving closer to the school. You mean she's pregnant, don't you? Says Sam. And Sam says, or Wendell says, yeah, she's pregnant. And her father's got a big shotgun. Sam thinks for a second and says, well, Wendell, let me tell you a story. Frank is another patient of mine. Frank is about your age. Frank has about as much energy as you do. He was going bear hunting. He drove his pickup truck down into the woods, found a place to park, reaches around behind him for his shotgun, and goes stalking through the woods. Soon enough, he sees a bear. He pulls the trigger. Poof! His umbrella opens up. He grabbed the wrong thing. At that moment, a shot rang out. The bear fell over dead. Wendell, what do you think happened? Wendell thinks for a second and says, Doc, someone else shot that bear. And Sam said, that's pretty much what I'm trying to tell you here. Sam was an archaeologist in one lifetime. He was running an archaeological dig in southern Turkey. It was a major undertaking. He had about 100 Kurdish workers out there digging in the hot sun. The Kurds are hard workers. The Kurds love money. The Kurds love gambling. I really wish I could spend some time there because it really is a pretty fascinating place. Sam figures out that he needs to have an incentive plan. So he starts paying for discoveries. It's 10 cents for a potsherd, all the way up to $10 for a complete vessel that has writing or pictures on it. One evening, Sam is sitting down to his well-earned rotisserie chicken dinner. These two Kurds come up, screaming at one another. They found one of these $10 vessels. Each one claimed to have found it and wanted the $10. Sam said, this one's nice enough, I'll give you each $10. No, I want the whole thing, each one says. And they drew knives on one another. Sam thinks fast and says, hand me your knife. He takes the knife and he carves up that rotisserie chicken and he pulls out the wishbone. You guys like to gamble? Here, pull the wishbone. They have no idea what that is. So he explains that that's how kids used to settle arguments when he was a kid. You'd pull the wishbone and the one who got the longer half won. This is wonderful, the Kurds say. So they pull the wishbone. One of them goes away with the money, and the other one goes away with the knowledge that he had gambled and lost honorably. And that's how Sam stilled two Kurds with one bone. Another time, Sam and his wife lived in ancient Rome. Everybody knows that there were gods all over the place in ancient Rome. There were gods and goddesses of the hearth, gods and goddesses of the gate, all of these things. What few people know, though, is that on top of the Palatine Hill, there was a bush. That bush was a very special bush to the Roman government. It had the most beautiful berries on it. It was so special that it was illegal on pain of death to pick or possess a berry from that bush. Well, Sam was coming home late one night from an orgy, and he saw this bush, and there's this beautiful berry on it. He picked the berry, and he took it home, and the next day, he got a crystal decanter and filled it with wine and put the berry in it, and they put it up on the mantelpiece. And Janet says, you know, we might have something going here. Let's make that berry the focal point of a religion, and people will pay us to come here and pray before it. Great idea. And they do that, and they become filthy rich. Finally, they got so rich that they didn't need to do this religion shtick anymore. So they retired. Sam gave the berry to his wife as an anniversary present, and it sat up on the mantle, and every month they'd put in some more white wine. One night there's a knock at the door. A phalanx of Roman soldiers, led by a centurion, which is sort of a NCO under-officer, and the centurion says, "We have come for your wife's berry." "Are you here to adore my wife's berry?" "No, we are here to Caesar berry, not to praise it." Another time, Sam, who was a descendant of Isaac Walton, was a fishing magnate in Boston. He had started out small and gotten very big. And he and Janet were up on a balcony overlooking the harbor. There, up the pier, walks a guy with a crate of fish on each shoulder, bowed down by the weight. And Sam said, "I remember those days. I don't remember them fondly, but I remember those days. I had one little fishing boat. I was barely making any money, and then two things happened. I heard about where there was going to be a huge run of cod, and there was a big storm. I was the only person who was foolhardy enough to go out, and we carried box after box after box of those cod up, and I made so much money that I bought 2 more boats, and then I parlayed those into 4 more boats, and now I am where I am today." And Janet says, "Do you mean?" And Sam says, "Yes, there, but for the crates of cod go I." Sam was a marine biologist. He specialized in cephalopods, which are squid and octopus, basically. There's a couple others, but basically squid and octopus. Sam discovered a unique squid. How unique was it? Its brain was wired differently. The eyes were not connected to the optic part at the forefront of the brain. They were connected at the sides to the part normally associated with hearing. Sam named it Cephalopodus bogarti because it was known as the "ears looking at you, squid."